We talk about valuations, but it can't be seen using a broad brush either. You take a look at Southeast Asia, some will perform better than others.
Yeah. So I think when you talk about Southeast Asia, the performance, as you pointed out, has definitely been very disappointing, in fact, for a long period of time. And I think one of the reasons, obviously, is to do with the COVID. A lot of the regions in Southeast Asia are still struggling with the COVID. However, we do expect to see cyclical recovery, but the recovery will be uneven. We have seen export sector already recovering, and then that will expand out to the banks, to financial. And finally, we all need a little bit of fun. We do expect that tourism will also pick up in the next 12 to 18 months. You talk about valuation, they're attractive, trading at 1.6 times price to book versus the 10-year historical range of between 1.3 to 2.3 times. And then more importantly, the longer-term structural growth drivers for Southeast Asia remains very much intact. When we look about financial penetration, that's one thing that there still has a lot of room, potential to grow in Southeast Asia. 3 out of 4 in Southeast Asia are underbanked or unbanked. In Vietnam today, 90% of transactions are still carried out in cash and go. So there's still a long way to go for in terms of the structural growth driver in Southeast Asia, even though they are struggling at this point in time.
Pauline, the preoccupation in the market right now is inflation. How is that factoring into how you view the region? The likes of Philippines, for instance, grappling with high inflation, has been on the up for 4 consecutive months.
Yes, I think inflation, as we have seen, is transition at the point in time just because of the low base from COVID and also because of the supply chain restrictions that we have been seeing due to COVID. We do expect that inflation will take a step downwards in the next 6 months or so. And also more specifically, when you look at Southeast Asia, when you look at asset prices domestically, you look at employment rates, there's no credit cycle. There is no bubble in Southeast Asia. So we do think that inflation, while it will be high in the next 6 months or so, will probably start to come down in 2022.
Pauline, it's one thing to look at Southeast Asian markets, relative to each other, but you got to compare it to the rest of the world, where there still seems to be a lot of focus in North Asia, India, Europe. Definitely, we're seeing the inflows there. What is the case to look into this region?
Yeah, I think there are quite a few themes that are very interesting in Southeast Asia. I want to talk about the new economy. So we have 650 million population in Southeast Asia. You know, the median age in countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, they are 30 or below. So they are digitally savvy. And when you think about new economies, think of Southeast Asia as 10 years behind China. I think I saw one of the headlines about Grab, the SPAC deal being postponed. We do expect to see a lot of new economy listing in Southeast Asia. We are at the pivotal moment where we are going to see many of these new listings coming just because many of these companies are taking advantage and trying to capitalize on the 650 million population in this part of the world. So I think of this as a very exciting growth and investment opportunity for ASEAN equities in the next 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit more about that strong IPO pipeline. How does it change the composition of these benchmarks?
Yeah, well, there will be very material change. You have seen MSCI announcing that C will be included in MSCI ASEAN. That's currently the only one. In the next 2 to 3 years, we will see many more coming, from Grab to GoTo to many of these big new digital economy companies in Southeast Asia to be listed.
And which markets are you most focused on at the moment? You mentioned a little bit about Singapore, Indonesia. What are some other stories that you're looking out for?
So we are very bottom-up stock picker, as you are familiar with us. We are very excited about the growth opportunities we're seeing in Indonesia as well as in Vietnam. So Indonesia is a country, 270 million population. So a lot of these new economy stocks will see probably dual listing in Indonesia. Financial deepening is another very strong growth driver for both markets like Indonesia and Vietnam. And also supply chain. Evolving supply chain is a big theme that we are seeing, and Vietnam has been a big beneficiary of that. Today, 1 out of 5 smartphones in the world are being made in Vietnam. I mean, Apple started manufacturing some of their devices in Vietnam today. 2020, a COVID year, Vietnam saw its GDP grew by 2.9%, the highest in Asia. So there is actually a lot of bottom-up investment ideas for us in Southeast Asia.